Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick or the Notorious Fantasy back at today with another fantasy football video. In today's video, I got you guys the Week 15 running back rankings. Now, before I get into these Week 15 running back rankings based off of the PPR format, so if you have any questions about half PPR or standard, please make sure to leave them down below in the comments. I'd like to give you guys a word from my friends and my sponsor over at OverlayDFS.com. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite way to play daily fantasy sports. Now, obviously, on the website, they have NFL, mainly what I cover, but they also have NBA as well, so you can get your fix for both NBA and NFL on OverlayDFS.com. Now, obviously, I'm going to be talking about the NFL here. My favorite game to play is the progressive game mode. Now, they have entries at all price points, $2.5, $22, or $109. Now, the cool thing here is what progressive means. There's that beautiful progressive bonus. If you hit 12-0, you will cash that progressive bonus. And the $22 game, you cash a progressive bonus of over $10,000. Now, obviously, on Sunday, it is going to be even higher than that. I'm recording this on Tuesday. It is going to be even higher at that time when it comes to hit Sunday. So make sure you check that out. Now, the way that the game works, it is very simple. If you hit the top 10% of players, you win 9 times your buy-in. It is that simple. And the way I'm going to show you how it works, it is so simple. All you got to do is make 12 picks plus 3 alternate picks in case one of your players ends up getting hurt or something happens that causes the matchup to be voided. It is so simple. It is player versus player. Pat Mahomes versus Denver, or do you think Jimmy Garoppolo will do better versus the Atlanta Falcons? It is so simple. To me, that is obviously Pat Mahomes, but there's so many matchups here. Over 30 plus matchups that you could choose from. They are different every single week, and it is so easy to do. Pretty much you're not even really playing against everyone. It's just you versus the cutoff to see if you can hit that top 10% and win 9 times your buy-in. So make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. And we are back. Make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. Let's get right into the video. Week 15 running back rankings. Coming in at number 1, we have Run CMC. Christian McCaffrey going up against the Seattle Seahawks. And now every single week, Christian McCaffrey is just the number 1 guy in my book. You know he has the talent. He catches so many passes out of the backfield. He could score you 30, 40 points any given week. He is just that unreal of a talent at the running back position. I really believe that leaving him out of not being the number 1 guy would just be foolish. Coming in at number 2, we have Chris Carson going up against the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, they're both in the same game. And the Carolina Panthers run defense is quite suspect and quite fucking bad. So I really believe that Chris Carson could have a really big game in this game, especially without Rashad Penny being on the IR with that torn ACL. So I think that Chris Carson obviously gets a lot more touches in this game. Coming in at number 3, we have Dalvin Cook, running back of the Minnesota Vikings, going up against the LA Superchargers. Now, Dalvin Cook has just been on a roll. Skull fucking defenses week in and week out, and I really believe that Dalvin Cook will put up yet another big game this week up against the LA Superchargers. Coming in at number 4, we have Derrick Henry going up against the Houston Texans. Now, Derrick Henry is dealing with a bit of an injury. Obviously, he's going to play. He's a big man. He's an alpha male. He's going to go out there and skull fuck the Houston Texans defense for you. You cannot sit down Derrick Henry in the months of November and December. He just gets on a roll. Once the weeks get into where it's double-digit weeks, week 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, he's going out there to win you a goddamn fantasy football championship. And I believe this week up against the Houston Texans, a defense that kind of has been struggling recently, I believe that Derrick Henry will be able to put up a huge matchup and a huge score this week in fantasy football. Coming in number 5, we have Saquon Barkley going up against the Miami Dolphins. Now, obviously, Saquon Barkley has been quite the bust this season, dealing with that injury, getting hurt, and then returning and just not looking like his old self. But this week, he's got the trash-ass Miami Dolphins. And if there was a week for Saquon Barkley to go absolutely crazy for your fantasy football week team, it would be this week up against the Miami Dolphins at home in the Meadowlands. Coming in at number 6, we have Nick Chubb going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, obviously, the last couple of weeks, Nick Chubb's fantasy value has kind of gone down, obviously, with the return of Kareem Hunt, taking out a lot of those PPR value. Obviously, he's been catching a lot of passes. Nick Chubb really has been put on the wayside for that. Now, obviously, this week he's playing up against the Arizona Cardinals. The last couple of games, he has put up near 100-yard games or over 100-yard games. He just has not been able to touch that end zone. And in this game up against the Arizona Cardinals, a defense that will let a blind kid walk straight into the end zone, I believe that Nick Chubb will be able to score a touchdown in this game and be a top 6 fantasy football running back on the week. Coming in at number 7, we have Ezekiel Elliott going up against the LA Rams. And in this game, I think they are going to need Ezekiel Elliott. They need to use Ezekiel Elliott a lot more. They have a lot of success on the Cowboys when they run play-action plays so that they're able to trick the defense, see if they're going to run, see if they're going to pass. And they have not really been doing that all that often. I think that Ezekiel Elliott is going to be able to eat in this game, given he gets the ball a lot more than usual. I think he is still a great option anyways, though, up against this LA Rams defense that is not the greatest against the run. Coming in at number 8, we have Leonard Fournette going up against the Oakland Raiders. And Leonard Fournette this week claimed on Twitter that he wants to score 5 touchdowns for his fantasy football owners. So you better believe he is going to be inside of the top 10. He's one of those nice guys that supports the fantasy football community. Big salute to Leonard Fournette, unlike Josh Jacobs, who pretty much told you to go fuck yourself. Now, Leonard Fournette has a great ranking because he's playing up against the Oakland Raiders in Oakland, the last game ever played in that Oakland Raiders stadium. Now, I believe that Leonard Fournette is going to be able to dominate in this game. He is the king of volume. He gets so many touches every single game. There is no way that you can realistically put Leonard Fournette outside of the top 10 in fantasy football any given week. Coming in at number 9, we have Melvin Gordon going against the Minnesota Vikings. I know what you might think, Nick. No, Nick, you fucking idiot. Melvin Gordon coming in at number 9. Austin Eckler, where's he? Austin Eckler put in the bigger game last week. La-di-da-di-da. Nick's a fucking idiot. That's what you might be thinking. And obviously last week, Austin Eckler did outscore Melvin Gordon. He put his dick straight down onto the table and balled out last week. But this week, I think this is a different story. I think Melvin Gordon gets a lot more work in this game, and Melvin Gordon is overall the safer type of play because Austin Eckler relies on just a couple of touches going his way, as well as the pass catching opportunities for him. Coming in at number 10, we have Todd Gurley going up against the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, in Jerry's World. Now, I believe that Todd Gurley will be able to put up a big game. They have let Todd Gurley become unchained like Django Unchained, or whatever the fuck that movie is called. I believe Todd Gurley, they have freed the man. They have let him get as many touches as possible. They have stopped that pitch count, that snap count, that touch count, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that Sean McVay employed onto him this year. He is going to go balls deep in this Dallas Cowboys defense that just is not all that good. I really like him this week up against the Dallas Cowboys. Coming in number 11, we have Aaron Jones going up against the Chicago Bears in Bear weather. Is likely going to be snowing on Sunday. I believe Aaron Jones is going to have another big game. It seems like Mr. Matt LaFleur really likes to just give the ball to Aaron Jones and Aaron Jones only now, but who knows? Maybe this week he'll switch it up on us and give the ball to Jamal Williams. Now, at the end of the day, Aaron Jones is obviously a very safe option. You know that this Packers team has went from a pass-heavy attack like you've seen in years past to being a team that really likes to run the rock and feed the beast, Aaron Jones. So I like him in this game, coming in at number 11. And at number 12, we have the 200-yard man, Austin Eckler, going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, obviously, like I said, I like Melvin Gordon more, but that doesn't mean I fucking hate Austin Eckler. He's coming in at number 12. I believe he has the great pass-catching opportunity, and enough touches in this game will warrant him being a top 12 type of back. He can obviously find the end zone in this game. Now on to 13 through 24. If you guys have enjoyed thus far, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Coming in at number 13, we have Raheem Mostert going up against the Atlanta Falcons. And this is the perfect matchup for Raheem Mostert to go ahead and slap around a defense. Last week he played up against the New Orleans Saints. He was getting touches on touches on touches. He was scoring touchdowns, gashing the New Orleans Saints defense. I think the same thing could happen this week for Raheem Mostert. Going up against the Atlanta Falcons. This is obviously a cupcake matchup for our boy Raheem. Coming in at number 14, we have Phillip Lindsay going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Denver Broncos really have 2 or 3 options to give the ball to. You either give the ball to Phillip Lindsay, you give the ball to Courtland Sutton, or you give the ball to Noah Fant, who's a bit banged up. In my opinion, Phillip Lindsay is going to eat in this game up against the Kansas City Chiefs, because even if they are behind in this game, which they obviously will be, Drew Horsecock Lock can throw the ball to Phillip Lindsay out of the backfield, so he's not going to get eliminated from the game if they have to go to the pass. So I really think that Phillip Lindsay will have a big game this week up against the Kansas City defense. Coming in at number 15, we have Joseph Mixon going up against the New England Patriots, and Joe Mixon is on fucking fire. In NBA Jam rules, he'd be fucking straight on flame. He's going to be scoring touchdowns in this game if that was the rule. But obviously, in real life, it's not NBA Jam rules. Joe Mixon is going to struggle this game up against the New England Patriots, but I believe he gets enough volume alone. And this New England defense has not looked the greatest the last couple of games. I believe Joe Mixon could definitely put up a great game for your fantasy team as long as he finds that end zone. He obviously gets a lot of work in the pass catching game as well. That is going to help boost him to be a top 15 back this week. Coming in at number 16, we have the back on the other side of the ball, James White going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, obviously, James White has been pretty okay this season. He's just pretty much average. He's just a good running back to start that you know is going to score you 10 to 15 points. Obviously, he never really blows up to score 30 points. We saw a couple of weeks ago he scored 30. The next game, goose egg. But he's pretty much around the 10 to 13 point rank in PPR. Now, if you are not in a PPR league, I would obviously stray away from James White because he gets a lot of these points from just catching a 5-yard pass 7 different times, and that just wins you your game. It helps you win your game. But if you're in a standard league, he is obviously not as good. Coming in at number 17, we have Devin Singletary going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we've seen Buffalo commit to the run more recently. They actually, well, not really committing because Josh Allen is still heaving the goddamn ball 9,000 yards down the field, but they're committing to using Devin Singletary way more than Frank Gore. So I think Devin Singletary has a good game this week up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, even though they are a tougher type of defense. So he's much more of a safer type of play. I don't really think he's going to be able to score 20 to 25 plus points in this game, and that's why he's coming in at number 17. Coming in at number 18, we have Kenyon Drake going up against the Cleveland Browns. Now, I am honestly a bit worried about Kenyon Drake in this game. David Johnson last week scored a touchdown. David Johnson is pissed off. He's like, these motherfuckers, Cliff Kingsbury, go fuck yourself. You're fucking me over. You're not letting me play. I'm better than Kenyon Drake. And that does kind of worry me because I think David Johnson's going to start seeing a lot more touches, and that obviously does not bode well for Kenyon Drake. But right now, Kenyon Drake is still the starting running back on that team, so I still think I would start Kenyon Drake in my fantasy league, but I would not obviously expect him to get a shit ton of touches like we've seen in the last couple of type of games. Coming in at number 19, we have Miles Sanders going up against the Washington Redskins. Now, obviously, last week, I told you Miles Sanders was going to be great. And you might be thinking, Nick, you told me Miles Sanders was going to be great, and he shit the bed. He didn't do anything for my fantasy team. He had an easy matchup up against the fucking Giants, and he shit the bed. He didn't do good. And what I'm going to tell you is he got hurt. Obviously, he could have had a much better game when he was healthy in the game, but he got hurt. In this game, he's got the soft-ass Washington Redskins in again, and if Jordan Howard misses this game, I'm just going to throw Miles Sanders out there, close my eyes, hope Boston Scott disappears, and hope that I can win my fantasy game, and I think it is possible that Miles Sanders puts up a big game this week against the Washington Redskins. Coming in at number 20, we have Karate Kick Kareem Hunt going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, obviously, I like Nick Chubb a lot, but Kareem Hunt still has his value in PPR leagues. He goes out as a wide receiver. He catches balls out of the backfield. He gets some touches just running out of the backfield. So I think that Kareem Hunt could have a big game this week up against a trash-ass Arizona team, but he's obviously has a lot less value than these other guys because a lot of these guys are the single back on their team. Coming in at number 21, we have David Montgomery going up against the Green Bay Packers in what I said could be bear weather, which means we may be seeing a lot more rushing in that game. If David Montgomery, it's fucking snowing, they may try to run the rock over there in Chicago, and I believe that David Montgomery will be able to have a big game if that is the case. I think the game is going to be in Green Bay, but it's still that bear weather that they talk about where it's fucking cold. You cannot play us in Chicago. That's my Chicago accent. That you cannot play us in Chicago. The weather is too, I don't even know what the fuck a Chicago person sounds like. So that's going to be my issue there in doing a Chicago person accent. Sorry if you did not enjoy that accent. Oh boy, but David Montgomery is going to be able to have a good game in this game, a much safer type of option. A guy that's not going to score you 20 points. You know that. David Montgomery, unless he finds the end zone, he's probably going to disappoint you. But I think he's going to be good for 8 to 15 points in this game, so he's definitely a top 22 type of option. Coming in at number 22, we have Devontae Freeman. Go up against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Devontae Freeman has been getting a whole lot of touches out of the backfield the last couple of games. I really believe that Devontae Freeman will be able to get a lot of touches in this game, but I'm not sure how much he's going to get done up against this tough San Francisco 49ers defense. Coming in at number 23, we have DeAndre Washington. Go up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Nick. Nick, you thought Josh Jacobs might play. What happens? Where's Josh Jacobs? Why is he not on this list? Where the fuck is Josh Jacobs? I thought Josh Jacobs was going to play. That's what you might be thinking. And right now, if I'm being honest with you folks, okay, we're friends here. We're great friends. You know, if you click that subscribe button, we're even better friends. You click that like button, we're even better friends. But DeAndre Washington, in my humble opinion, is going to get the start on Sunday. Why risk Josh Jacobs in a game that doesn't matter? They're not making the playoffs. They're out. They're out ski. They can't win, okay? It doesn't fucking matter. So put DeAndre Washington in the game. He will be able to do just enough in PPR. He looked great last week, 20 points. This week, probably 10 to 15 points in this game, I could see. So I like DeAndre Washington this week. Obviously, if Josh Jacobs plays, you don't play DeAndre Washington, and you would play Josh Jacobs. If Josh Jacobs plays, you can put him around this area. He's obviously from the 13 to 24 range. Coming in number 24, we have Patrick Laird going up against the New York Giants, my Miami Dolphin man. Patrick Laird. Now, obviously, he's just very safe in PPR because he's going to be seeing like 6 targets in this game, I believe, up against the Giants. I think that will obviously help his floor. He does get a lot of touches out of the backfield, but he hasn't really done much with them because they just don't look good running the ball. So I think that Laird could have a solid game this week up against a not-so-hot Giants defense. Now on to 25 through 32. So like I said, if you guys have not subscribed already, please click that subscribe button down below. Coming in at number 25, we have Marlon Mack going against the New Orleans Saints. Now, obviously, Marlon Mack last week kicked the shit out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and put up a big game. This week against the New Orleans Saints, another pretty okay run defense. I'm not sure if Marlon Mack is going to be doing all that well. If T.Y. Hilton returns, I would be a bit worried about the rushing game, but I still think that Marlon Mack does just well enough to be a top 25 guy on the week. Coming in at number 26, we have James Conner going up against the Buffalo Bills, and I personally believe he is going to make his triumphant return this week up against the Buffalo Bills at home in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to win this game. They need to try to get into that wild card, and how they do it is beat the shit out of the Buffalo Bills, and James Conner is obviously, there's potential he goes out there and dies again. There's potential he goes out there, gets injured, fucks over your fantasy team, okay? That's why he's ranked so low. You know he has the talent, but this Buffalo defense is also no joke, so I am a bit worried about James Conner this week. Coming in at number 27, we have Sony Michel going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I really don't trust Sony Michel at all. I have zero trust for Sony Michel, but the Cincinnati Bengals defense is so bad that if not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if the New England Deflatriots get up by so many points, I believe that Sony Michel will be able to run the rock straight down the Cincinnati Bengals' throats for the majority of the third and fourth quarter, and that would obviously bode well for his fantasy game, but I will not really trust it. I prefer James White by about 1 million. Coming in at number 28, we have Adrian Peterson going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now he's facing up against a very, 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 very tough run defense, a defense that could definitely shut down AP. He's going to be getting work out of the pass catching game as well. I think if he gets 70 yards, you're going to be good to be a top 32 type of guy, but I am obviously worried about the fact that the Redskins are so bad, but with Geis out, that obviously elevates AP just up high enough to be in the top 32. Coming in at number 29, we have LaShawn McCoy going up against the Denver Broncos. Now, if Damian Williams is 100% going to play, I'm not playing LaShawn McCoy. I'm not playing Damian Williams. I don't trust any of those fuckers up against the Denver Broncos if Damian Williams plays. If he does not play, LaShawn McCoy is just going to be okay. I really don't even trust him either. But once you get past, like, 26, you really can't trust any of these guys. Coming in number 30, we have Rojo Ronald Jones going up against the Detroit Lions. Now, obviously, every week with Ronald Jones, it's a new different story. Same thing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run offense. One game, it's going to be Ronald Jones. The next game, Peyton Barber. The next game, Dare Agabaduge, okay? You never know what the fuck is going to happen in that backfield. So I'd start Ronald Jones. He's a potential to find the end zone multiple times in this game, but if it's Peyton Barber who scores twice, I would not be surprised at all. Coming in at number 31, we have Jamal Williams. Go to against the Chicago Bears. Now, obviously, like I said, Mr. Matt LaFleur likes to give the ball to both these backs, but it seems like he's kind of committed more towards the Aaron Jones side of things over Jamal Williams. But I do think that if Jamal Williams does get touches in this game, he will warrant being a top 32 guy. Coming in at number 32, Mr. Irrelevant, we got Duke Johnson. Go against the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Now, Duke Johnson to me is much more of a dice roll. You fucking roll the dice and you throw him against the wall. The last couple of games, he's actually been getting 10 plus PPR points. So I do think he's been a bit safer since he's getting a lot of work out of the backfield, something that was not out of the backfield, but in the pass catching game, stuff that the Houston Texans just weren't doing early in the season, and that is so successful for Duke Johnson. He is so good at catching the ball out of the backfield. I don't know why they just realized it now, but I think that Duke Johnson could have a great game this week, potentially against the Tennessee Titans, but obviously it is hampered by the fact that Carlos Hyde is the head honcho on the team. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you ended up enjoying, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. I love each and every single one of you guys. Make sure to have a blessed rest of your day. Check out OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. Goodbye.